So today I thought I'll catch up on what's going on in CTE and just a few other topics when it comes to BF4. There's been some pretty significant improvements being made by DSLA, including a totally new netcode feature, how bullets will be updated at the same rate as your FPS. So if you're getting around, let's say 80 FPS, and your client will send data to the server at 80 Hz. But that's only for bullets, nothing else at the moment, but that might change later in the future. We have Spotting 2.0, which is aimed to improve how spotting works in the game. I'm sure we all know just how powerful it can be, and I'll show you guys the improved night vision scopes. But the main topic I want to talk about first is the AN-94. It might be making a comeback. Nothing is confirmed, it's just more or less speculation, but Triple JU recently posted this picture of Hangar 21 on Twitter. Looks pretty normal, nothing much to see here at first glance. If we just enhance the picture, take another look. Do you see anything weird? Let's zoom in towards the right side. As we can see, we have some kind of object here. At first glance, I thought maybe it's night vision goggles or something along those lines, but a few awesome people on the BF4 Reddit page said it's actually the muzzle of the AN-94. If we look here at this comparison, I know it's kind of hard to see, it's a bit out of focus. It looks very similar, not exactly the same, but I mean, what else can it be? There was mention in the Winter Patch article on Battlelog a couple of weeks ago there will be a weapon pack in the future, so maybe we might see the AN-94 included in this weapon pack. It would be really damn cool, but like I said, at the moment it's just speculation. So anyway, as for the netcode updates, it sounds like DSLA and the Hardline netcode team have managed to come up with this frame rate updates on bullets. Like I said before, whatever FPS you're getting at the time, let's say 200 FPS, that means you'll be updating to the server at 200 Hz. But like I said, it only affects your bullets, which kind of begs the question, does that mean I'll be more competitive with higher FPS? I'm not talking about people with 120 or 144 Hz monitors having more smoother experience. I'm talking about the time it takes for your client to communicate the damage data to the server. It seems like having a high FPS is going to be a massive help. For me anyway, FPS is not an issue. The hardware on my PC is more than capable of dishing out over 100 FPS in BF4. But the problem is, what about those people who don't have the most powerful hardware that can't really push high FPS? I'm guessing the sweet spot for this feature will be around 60 FPS, so everyone's on a similar level. But on the plus side, these changes should massively improve hit reg and really improve the damage collection, which is a problem where a person with packet loss or a high ping shoots at an enemy player. All of his damage will be collected together, then sent to the server, then sends all that damage to the player on the receiving end all at once. That's why sometimes it might seem like you die in one frame or looks like you died instantly. If the damage is being sent to the server at a higher rate, so either 60 Hz or 100 Hz based from your FPS, the server, well, I imagine will have a much better idea what's going on and will be able to send that damage to your target in a normal way, instead of it all being collected together. So that sounds like it's a fairly big improvement to the game. The whole dying instantly has always been an issue for BF4. Also, once DSLA feel like it's working okay, it sounds like this is just a first step in some pretty major changes to netcode. In the future, we might even see improvements to how fast the server sends data to the client. I'm guessing they might eventually change it to 60 Hz as well. Also, I just want to mention, apparently this feature won't make it to last gen consoles, will only be for PC and the next gen, so the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I'm assuming that's because of the FPS limits. Also, you might be thinking, why is this footage not from CTE? Well, unfortunately, the times I tried to get some good gameplay, there was pretty much no one playing. Normally the times I do hop on, there's already like 10 or 12 people, but the times I checked, there was only 2 people playing in CTE, which is pretty disappointing. So let's talk about 3D spotting. This area of the game hasn't really seen too much attention, but in the recent CTE patch it had some fairly major tweaks. The main goal is to improve how the system works by making spotting at a distance need much more accuracy and multiple activations to cover multiple enemy targets. First of all, one feature about this system I actually didn't even know is how powerful passive spotting works, which means without you even needing to press a spot key. On Retail BF4, how this works is if an enemy player is within your spotting cone, he'll be added to your team's minimap, and this range extends all the way to 1000 meters. In CTE, it's now been lowered to 100 meters, which is obviously a much better implementation of the system. On top of that, active spotting, or in other words, when you press the spot key, the area where enemies can be spotted has been changed to a more diamond-like shape. If we take a look at this image here, looking at the bluish diamond type zone, in close range, the spotting range is still 3 degrees like how it is in retail BF4, but if you take a look at the longer distance, the shape becomes very narrow. I believe at the longer ranges, the spotting zone is only 0.15 degrees, which means you'll need a lot more accuracy when spotting targets at long range. So overall, I think the new tweaks will work out pretty well. It's a lot better for the game, but I imagine there's still going to be a fair amount of adjustments being made in future patches. So as for the night vision scope, it's had some pretty major tweaks. The most obvious one is how the outside black ring has been changed to a more dark green. Flares, flashlights and laser sights will blind you a lot more than how it was before. Just to demonstrate here, I'll look into a flare and notice how it pretty much blinds my entire screen, but if I just slightly look to the sides, it quickly disappears. So that means you have to be fairly close for it to keep blinding you, but at long range, it's not so bad. I'll also do this test with a laser sight being pointed in my direction, and as you can see, just like the flare, it's extremely effective if it counts as the night vision scope, but of course it pretty much has to be pointing it directly at me to blind my vision. The flashlight is also pretty strong, but once you take a step back, it quickly decreases how effective it is, so like the flare, you have to be somewhat close for it to really blind you. So anyway guys, that's it for today's video. Make sure to let me know your thoughts about the possible AN-94. Do you think it could be anything else in the picture? Leave your comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.